What is up, everybody? It is missvadams here, and welcome to episode 6 of this Project Zomboid Beginner's Guide, how to get through your very first week of the zombie apocalypse. And today is the very first day that we might get the shopper event, and we're not going to be able to find out until 9 o'clock in the morning. So we've still got a few hours, and we're just on time for the morning cook show. I think we are working towards 0.3 of our cooking level. I don't think we'll quite get there this morning. I'm going to speed up time a little bit to see if we do. No, we're not going to, are we? No. Okay, tomorrow morning we'll do it though. We still have about 2.5 days left of the life and living shows to learn from. Looks like we're a little bit hungry as well, so I am gonna quickly go and grab some food. We are in need of some high calorie food at the moment. My character is losing weight, I think. There we go, look, 78. And if this number gets to 75, then we are gonna get an underweight debuff. So if I remember correctly, I think there was a couple of tubs of ice cream out in the freezer here. Here we go. Look, I'm going to eat an entire tub of ice cream. And we're going to eat ice cream for a few days now in the hope that we can get that back up to a healthier number. Let's grab all of these. I think we've got 3 more tubs in total. Excellent. That's probably going to last me all of 2 days. But yeah, we need to wait around till 9 o'clock in the morning to find out if the chopper is going to happen or not. And the way that we find out about that is through our radio, which we have here. Now, some radios have the emergency broadcast system on them. Let's have a look. Device options. Here we go. Look. So if I go to the drop down menu here, automated emergency broadcast system, turn on. We've got 100% battery. Make sure that the volume is low. Tune in. There we go. And yeah, we just have to sit around and wait. Essentially, we are pretty much as prepared as we can be for this event. I have barricaded up my windows where I need them, all along the downstairs, and this one here where zombies could technically get in. I've got plenty of food. I've also got plenty of reading supplies in here because my plan is to sit and to wait it out inside the base. We've got our curtains up against all the windows, and I've even got an emergency getaway system. If I open this window, I can right click, nail escape rope. There we go. I've got a nail, a hammer, and 2 sheet ropes in my inventory. I don't think we're going to need it, but it's always good to have a backup plan just in case. So yeah, we've got a little bit of time to wait. I think, first and foremost, I think my character's going to need a little bit of a wash, so we'll do that first. There we go. Wash all clothing. Excellent. Fill up our 2-litre water bottle for the day as well, because if the chopper doesn't come today, then we'll go out and we will work on something else that's going to help us with long-term survival. Since we've still got an hour to wait, I've got trapping 1 here and maintenance 1. I'm actually going to favour trapping 1 because trapping is a skill that we can learn from the 6 o'clock exposure survival show. So any kind of leg up I can get on trapping XP boost in the first week is pretty good. Let's just have a look at trapping. Yeah, so at the moment, no XP boost, no points into that. So let's start reading that. Now you can see that the radio is telling me some information here. It's giving me information about the weather for the upcoming few days, and it will do that throughout the day. The words we are looking for exactly are air activity detected, and if we don't see those words, that means the chopper event isn't going to happen today. So here we go. What is it going to tell us today? Any air activity? Okay. Any air activity though. Let's speed up time a little bit. Severe weather warning, tropical storm. Oh no. But no air activity. Let's just double check, and I think we're clear. I think we're clear. No shopper today on day 6. So that means we get to go and do something else. And I think, continuing on from last episode, when we got ourselves our very first vehicle with key and gas, which is just parked out the front here, I think it'd be a good thing to focus on would be vehicles. Yeah, let's do it. Now, it's not necessary that before the chopper event you must have a vehicle or to have to learn about them. But since we have time, I think we might as well. So we have this van here. If I hit E, I'll be able to go inside because I have a key for it. As we can see here, I can click on the ignition to put the key in and out. We've got our dashboard here with some useful information. We've got the amount of gas. It's full at the moment, and we can see what side of the car our gas tank is on. It's on the left, which is useful for when we're pulling in to gas stations and we need to fill up. We've got our speed down here. We've got lights, headlights on and off. We've got radio on and off as well. Air conditioning or heating perhaps, which is particularly useful in the winter and summer. Also locking and unlocking the boot. We can in fact lock and unlock all the doors on the car if we want. And we can also see the battery level, which is green, which is good. And if I attempt to turn the car on, we can see this engine symbol flashing, and it's a kind of dark green. If it was a lighter green, it would indicate better quality, but we do want to watch out that it doesn't go into the orange or the red, because that indicates bad engine quality, which could mean eventually it's going to be harder for us to even start the car, and it might fail to start altogether. And if you're around a bunch of zombies, well, that's going to be pretty bad. It's WSAD if you're using keyboard and mouse to control your car, and spacebar to brake. It's pretty straightforward. If I hold down V, I'll have this radial menu here which has several options, including switching seat. This could be particularly useful if zombies are attacking you from one side and you want to make a sneaky escape out the other door. You could switch seats. If you've got seats in the back, you could switch seats to those as well. The other options we have here are, besides exiting vehicles, sleeping. You can take naps in your car. It's not particularly good quality sleep, and you are likely to wake up with a bad neck and be in pain, but we can do it if we need to. We're not tired enough to do that yet, of course. Vehicle mechanics. So you can access the vehicle mechanics from this menu, but it takes you out the car anyway. We also have, again, just a longer way around of locking doors, opening windows, turning on the radio, turning on the heating. We've got horn here. You might want to use your horn tactically if you're trying to move groups of zombies out of a particular area and follow you, perhaps. Turning headlights on and off, of course. And then this option here, it says shut off the engine. If we didn't have a key for this car, but the door was unlocked, this would actually give you the option to hotwire a car. If you pick the burglar when you create your character, at the moment we have custom occupation, so we don't have a job. But if you pick burglar, it means that you can hotwire cars from the get-go. Another way that you could hotwire cars is if you reach mechanics level 2 and electrical level 1. You'll be able to hotwire cars too. But luckily for us, we have the key, so we can get going with this vehicle. If we take a look under the hood here, we can access all the information that there is to know about this car. So within the box here, we can see the vehicle type, which is heavy duty. There are 3 vehicle types in Project Zomboid. We've got standard, heavy duty, and sports types. And we have heavy duty here because this is a big van, which means certain parts of this car can only be fitted to heavy duty vehicles. So that becomes important when you start working on mechanics. And why might you want to work on mechanics? Well, the higher level mechanical skill you are, the more chance you are at successfully uninstalling and reinstalling parts and being able to get a really high quality car. So considering we are sat at mechanics level 0, it's probably not in our best interest at the moment to be working too heavily on our cars. But I want to talk through it briefly because I think it's some useful information to know for kind of later gameplay after you have survived your chopper event. So all of these parts we can replace, pretty much all of them we could replace and reinstall. Why might we want to do that? Well, as you can see here, some of our parts are pretty low in quality. This front left door is 25%. So you might want to find another heavy duty front left door and replace this one so that you have a better quality front door, perhaps with more integrity. And also, you can remove each of these parts once per day per vehicle to gain more mechanics XP. That is really the main reason why folks like to remove stuff and reinstall them within the same vehicle, is so that they can up their mechanics level. So most Project Zomboid players end up having a spare vehicle that they keep back at their base at all times that they can do that on. I'm not going to be replacing parts today. As I say, my skill's pretty damn low. But in future prep for doing so, we're going to need a couple of key items. And luckily, we're at the Echo Creek gas station, which also has a little mechanics shop attached to it. And this is the most likely place we're going to come across what we need. So a lug wrench is an essential item for doing mechanics. I'm going to grab one of those. A screwdriver as well we will need. We've got, okay, a car magazine here. Those are always worth picking up to learn extra recipes and things. What else could we use? Okay, we can see that we have car parts in here. There we go. Look, suspension, standard vehicle type. Good stuff. That particular item wouldn't fit in our heavy duty van though. We would need a heavy duty suspender. Tire pump, obviously good for pumping up tires, but I'll leave that in there because it's pretty damn heavy. Muffler standard type, tires. We could use, here we go. We could also use a regular wrench. We could use a ratchet wrench in its place, in fairness. We also need a jack to be able to theoretically hoist the car up to be able to work on it. Let me see if there's one in here. I don't think we have one. Luckily, because we're in Echo Creek, there's also some kind of car trucking offices and garage on the other side of the river, which usually spawns mechanical loot, so I think that would be worth checking out. I've just realised my character's still hungry. That ice cream didn't cut it, apparently. Is there a cheeky snack I could have? Here we go. I'll have choco cakes and I will have a dehydrated meat stick. Delicious. All right, back in the car we go. We talked a bit about this last episode, but cars obviously make noise, and anything that makes noise in Project Zomboid does attract zombies. So you will want to bear that in mind when you're driving around in a car, and different types of cars with different types of engines will make more or less noise. You have an item in the car called a muffler, which, well, muffles the engine sound, I guess. And you have performance varieties and regular varieties. So the performance varieties are always going to make for a quieter car. I don't know what type we've got. We can have a little look in here. Also, there will be just general car models that make more or less noise as well than others, and you can hear that in game. You'll be able to hear the difference between different cars. So if I go to the muffler, uninstall, chance of success 5%. So this is why we wouldn't want to remove this item right now. I can't actually see until it's in my inventory what type of muffler it is, if it's a performance or not. We'll wait till we get some high level mechanics. We might get lucky and find some mechanic books in here as loot as well, which is pretty cool. Oh wait, I had all my ice cream on me. I didn't put that back in the freezer. Well, I guess we will eat a bit of that then. And yeah, we should take a look in here. There might be zombies in here. There's usually not too many, but with the recent changes of build 42, if you're playing on apocalypse mode, then zombie populations can vary from save file to save file in terms of where exactly the zombies are dispersed and how they're dispersed. So you never know. It's always worth being careful, especially when you're inside of buildings. Doing the double E door trick is a non-negotiable for me now. Now, this is the office section of the building. I didn't pick the smoking trait for my character, but it's good to check desks if you did pick the smoking trait, because desks are quite likely to have cigarettes and lighters in. And I think there's a couple more upstairs too that we should check. Can't hear any zombies. Doesn't mean they're not here though. Nothing useful in there or in the bin. What about this room here? I can see one useful item there that we can bring back with us. Okay, we have a vehicle key for a Chevalier Cerise wagon. I don't know where that car is because I feel like I've not seen one of those, but we'll keep hold of it in case we come across it. This thing here, this little water tank bottle thing, you find these in office buildings and they hold 250 litres of water, which is quite a decent amount to kind of keep you going. So if we go to the move icon button and pick up, it's 30 kilograms in weight. So you do want to make sure you've got enough room in your inventory, and you certainly don't want to be carrying it around for long because it will make you over encumbered and slow you down. But now that we have our van with a hefty amount of boot space, I can offload it into here and take it back home. I mean, we already have plumbing, but this is a good stopgap in case you haven't got plumbing set up yet and your water has gone out. So water dispenser into the boot. You can see we've got 97 boot space here. It's worth noting that if you crash into anything, whether it's a zombie or an inanimate object with your boot, and your boot becomes damaged, your inventory capacity will become less temporarily until you fix it. So another reason to be careful when driving. And that goes for the front of your car too. You don't want to be going around crashing into things. You don't really want to be going around crashing into zombies as well. You can kill them that way, but it is going to damage your car and ultimately your engine as well. Once your hood reaches 0%. Oh, is that a zombie? It is. Once your hood reaches 0%, then yeah, your engine's going to start taking more and more damage. So it's always best to drive carefully. Oh, we've got a couple here. These sometimes have interesting loot in. I mean, if you class fancy sofas as interesting, you can always pick those up and take them back home. I'm more interested in what's in this van here, or this truck. It's full of planks, which is seemingly boring, but if you're looking at barricading up your base, or maybe you're looking at using the planks to craft a bunch of weapons or items, then yeah. A whole load to be found in there, but the most juicy loot of all in this location has yet to be discovered. So this room here is the garage. You can already see some containers. Going to turn that light on. We do have a walkway that connects the upstairs offices to here, and you do sometimes get zombies along there. So before we start looting, just want to do a quick double check. All right, we're safe. We're safe, we're safe. What are we going to find here then? Are we going to find a jack? Pretty please. That'd be great. Welder's mask. Not 100% sure if we have one of those. That's a very useful item for welding, of course. Welding rods as well. I think we have everything else here. Rubber hose. That is a useful item. Not that I need it really because I live at a gas station, but if you're looking to siphon gasoline from one car into another, you would need that. Nothing massively useful there. And then we have this little storeroom here. Okay, Mechanics 1. Excellent book. There we go. So we should really read that Mechanics 1 book before we start working on our car so that we can gain the most amount of XP possible. Unfortunately, I didn't see a jack in here. The other places where we might find a jack is inside of car boots. Okay, I can't get into there. Can we get into the car though? Without a key? I can press this button to unlock the trunk. Let's have a look. Anything useful? Tire iron. That can also be used as a mechanic tool. Not a replacement for a jack though. You do need the jack in order to be able to take the wheels off the car. But I'll take it anyway. If you've got any other kind of like industrial loot places as well, garages, sheds, certain basements, they might also spawn jacks. I don't really know around here where else might be worth looking. Let's just take a quick peek at our map. Oh yeah, so we had a bit of an update since the last episode came out. We now have road names and a map overhaul, which is pretty damn cool. You can even launch the game in debug mode if you want and change the names of the roads, which is awesome. You can't do it in normal mode though. But yeah, I should imagine this is going to be particularly useful when multiplayer for Build 42 comes around. You'll be able to tell your friends that you're playing with exactly where you are. Now, we started here. Yeah. Okay, so we started here, and I remember, I should have probably put this in earlier, but we did check. I'm pretty sure we checked these houses. But we didn't go down this way, and there is a shed just down here at the bottom there that might be worth checking out. So we should go and take a quick peek at that. Oh, hang on, I'm pressing the wrong button. There we go. E to enter the car, by the way. You do have to like get your character in exactly the right position, which can be a bit finicky. Yep, I remember. We've looked in this shed. I don't usually find car jacks in barns. Yeah, there's our starting house. There's the dead zombie. We've got sheep here as well. You know what? If we don't get the chopper event next episode, we'll do animals, I think, because animals are a new addition to Build 42, which are absolutely worth checking out. This is our shed, and it's quite a big one, so I thought it might be worth coming to and seeing if we've got anything useful, even if it's just other useful crafting items. Now, please don't ask me why I didn't use the door. I like to make things awkward for myself. including shutting the window when I don't mean to. There we go. Climb through. Okay, anything good in here? Whoa, okay, electrical 1. Oh, that's fantastic. Even more reading material to keep us busy for the shopper event. Mechanics 4, bit down the line, but we can grab it. Propane lantern. Propane is useful in welding, which we won't get to for a while, but I'm going to take it anyway. Let's have a look. Actually, that wood saw, where was it? That wood saw would be useful. I don't know if we've got one of those already. I think we've just got a hacksaw, slug repellent, and we've got some seeds. So yeah, this is more of a gardening shed. I don't know, sometimes you can get lucky and find mechanical bits in sheds and garages too. Okay, it's 5 o'clock. I would like to get back in time for the exposure survival show to see if we can learn any skills. So we will leave the hunt for the carjack for another day. In terms of car and speeds, cars can be a little bit temperamental. I don't have a Sunday driver trait. I have purposely driven past the house, by the way. The Sunday driver trait is worth 1 point and is a bit of a trap, if you ask me, when it comes to choosing your character's traits. Sunday driver means you can only drive up to a certain speed. It makes you incredibly slow, which can produce a lot of dangerous situations if you're stuck in a group of zombies. It makes it more difficult to pull trailers. It makes your driving louder, which attracts more zombies as well. So haven't picked that trait. Also Speed Demon, which is a positive trait for 1 point. If you want to drive extra fast, you can, but be careful because I'm trying to demonstrate here and I'm doing a bad job. If we had a bunch of dead zombies in the road right now and I were to drive over them, it would be potentially possible to flip my car, which you don't want to do. But yeah, my roads are clear at the moment, so I'm not going to be able to demonstrate, but a rough demonstration at least of how fast this thing can go when you don't have any traits affecting your driving speed. Why is my character so heavy? A question I ask myself quite a lot. Probably because I keep forgetting to put items into my rucksack. Let's put that ice cream away. I need to be better at that. Putting all of this away in our rucksack. And then whilst we're here, putting away our books as well. We got electrical 1, we got mechanics 4 and mechanics 1. And then we also got a mechanics magazine as well, which is great. And we're tired already. It's 6 o'clock. It's way too early to go to bed. We don't want to disrupt our sleeping pattern. It looks like we're learning trapping, so it's a good job we started reading Trapping 1 in the morning because it's going to give us a slight boost. There we go, to level 1 acquired. So what can we do with the rest of our time today that's going to be useful? We obviously didn't get our car jack, but we did get the wrench, the tire iron, the screwdriver, and the lug wrench, which means if you wanted to, you could do a decent amount of work on your car. Now, as I say, wouldn't really bother removing stuff when you have no skill points in mechanics. In fact, there's some things you can't do until you have points in mechanics. For example, you can't start working on your car engine until you have mechanics level 5. That also includes, I think, level 2 for repairing things like your trunk and your hood, which you need sheet metal for, by the way. If you see any steel sheets, big or small, definitely start stockpiling them for when you get to mechanics level 2. But just as a demonstration, if you see, where's my mechanics? I have 0 points in mechanics. Now, something that's quite straightforward to remove, let's remove a headlight. Okay, I only need a screwdriver to do that. So I'm removing a light bulb. There we go. Item missing. It goes into my inventory. I right click again, reinstall. You can also fail installation, by the way. The lower your mechanic skill, the more likely you are to fail a reinstallation or fail an uninstallation for that matter. Without any XP bonus to my mechanic skill, by removing 1 light bulb, I have got precisely 0.65 XP. So you can imagine though, if you're removing all items once per day with a boost to your mechanic skill, eventually that's all gonna add up. So that is mechanics, vehicles in a nutshell. Oh, a point into running. Let's go. I want to set my alarm so that we can wake up for the cook show again. Set alarm. Yeah, alarm. Okay, there we go. That means our alarm's set for 5:30 in the morning. And then making sure we sleep on the side with the pillow so we get that extra comfort. And there we have it. Day 6 is complete. Are we going to get the chopper event on day 7? I guess we will have to wait to find out till next episode. But it was really nice to get to explore stuff about vehicles, stuff about mechanics, and things that are generally going to help you out as you survive your first chopper event and after you survive that chopper event. So folks, thank you for watching. If you did like the content today, please do consider dropping a like and subscribe because it does help me out more than you know. And until next time, folks, over and out. See you later.